What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to a new year and a new episode and a new chapter of the See It Through My Eyes channel. Here today, I'm your host, Richie, here with Full House. We have, of course, our cameraman behind the camera, Stan the Man, Mr. Jesus, my cousin.
Hi.
We have the black man himself, Ian.
Sup?
We have my brother, Omar.
Hey.
And we have here, once again, Miss Erica, my cousin, well, our cousin, that joined us last recording, and she is here once again. Miss Erica, say hi.
Hey.
Thank you for coming once again. And today, guys, what I want to do with this video, since it's going to be our first video of the year, I want to do a little bit of reflection, a little bit of story time since the beginning. Now, as I mentioned before, I think we've talked about this. We talked about it, I know, our first episode on YouTube, giving a little backstory to how we started. So I kind of want to just go a little bit over all of that and just our entire journey on YouTube. So bear with me. So our journey, well, I guess the journey started in 2019. To give a little backstory, people used to always tell me that I should be on radio, and I used to be like, no, because I don't see myself being on radio. So it wasn't until eventually a family friend recommended me to do podcasting. But, you know, I was interested, but I was like, I don't know if I could do that by myself. So, you know, what if I get people that I'm comfortable, you know, having conversations with? And a couple people came to my mind, a group of friends, Kika, Jesus, Ian, my brother, and a couple other people. I think the majority either said that, you know, they had conflicting schedules, or they just weren't really about the whole podcasting thing. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Me and Kika, my cousin Kika, Erica, whatever, you want to call her, we did actually agree that we wanted to do something, but we kind of left it at that. Me and my brother, we has talked about starting our own business together, but we also kind of just left it at that. Ian told me that he wasn't really about the podcasting thing, and then Jesus, pretty sure Jesus told me that he was going to think about it and never got back to me, at least the first time. So I kind of pushed that to the side. It wasn't until like mid 2020. I remember it was me and Ian. We were on the phone. This was during the pandemic, and we were talking. And I think we were talking about just at this point. I think you were still kind of like along the lines of like wanting to be a preacher or something like that, right? Like at least around 2020.
Well, yeah. Something like that.
And then around that time, I was still pursuing a career in motivational speaking. So I remember we were having that conversation that, you know, we were like, what if, you know, we go up to Curie, the high school that we graduated from, the three of us, me, Jesus, and Ian, and, you know, we were able to, you know, talk to all the kids there and talk to, especially the ones with disabilities, and talk about, you know, our journeys and giving advice about fitting in or just being comfortable in your own skin, you know, and dealing with your disability. And I remember that I learned this from my brother Omar here, that about like a salesman, he works on his sales pitch in order to be able to sell whatever he's trying to sell to the person that he's trying to sell it to. So I was like, well, the first time Ian said no, so what if I try to change the way I ask him the proposal? So I remember that I asked you differently, but at the end of the night, you were like, you know what, I'm down for it. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got one person on board. I remember the next morning I asked Jesus, and the same pitch. You know, I told him differently. I asked him, you know, I proposed it. And then all excitedly, he was like, sure. So I was like, okay, awesome. I have a team. So from there, I remember that we did schedule to start recording as I want to say like, when did we start, Jesus? Like August, September?
It was somewhere around September.
Yeah.
August, somewhere through there.
And I remember that at first I was like, okay, you know, me and Jesus, we were part of a somewhat group of friends. And then me and Ian, obviously, we became friends coming from a group of friends. So I was like, this is going to be kind of combining, you know, two different friendships from two different groups. So, you know, let's try to get the flow going. And to be quite honest, it did not work out the first few times. And we really didn't. Like, we didn't really get the flow going. And I remember Jesus was like, all right, let's try to do the test. We first started on the platform Anchor. Our first subscriber was Miss Erica over here. And I remember that, you know, it was supposed to be a test. It later got known as our first episode, but in reality, it was our pilot episode, and it was just horrible. The audio was horrible because once again, this was during the pandemic, so Jesus was in his house, I was in my house, Ian was in his house, so we were, recording remotely. So the audio, the signal, everything was just off. Jesus kind of sounded like he was haunting the channel. I'm over here, the FCC was about to break down my house because of all this crazy shit I was saying. And for some reason, Ian sounded like Kermit.
Yeah, that too.
So the signal was just off. But nevertheless, we were like, you know what? We have fun. We found our flow, ironically enough, the minute that we started recording. So initially, the name of the channel was The Three Blind Mice. But then later we were like, okay, due to legal reasons, I think we need to change that. So I pitched the idea of See It Through My Eyes, with the double meaning, because we didn't want to just focus the channel to be surrounding, disabilities or being visually impaired. So fast forward, we the next few months, we did get 2 interviews with a former mutual friend of me and Ian, who was also visually impaired. One of my roommates that I got along with that was visually impaired, named Darian, that we had our interesting interactions with the toxic roommate that I made that story time about. And it wasn't until January of 2021 when we finally were able to record in person. Jesus and Ian would come over, and we recorded about, 4 videos, I want to say? 4 podcasts?
Yeah.
4 episodes.
Yeah, and the audio was just completely better, but obviously because we were literally under the same roof. But unfortunately, like I spoken a couple times, due to the situation with my roommate, once my lease was up, I was out. So we weren't able to record, and we had to postpone the recordings from 2021. And then fast forward, a bunch of shit happened. People got fired. And then eventually the idea became me, Jesus, Ian, and Omar. So then I pitched the idea in December to Jesus, I remember, of 2022. And I was like, you know what? I think we should just do it. Like, let's go for it. Let's get on YouTube. So finally, we did it. Our first episode was in that December. And by this point, I was in talks with Omar too. And I was like, okay, I think we're ready. Let's bring him on. So by January of 2023, and that's, I believe that's how it shows up, our second video or third video in 2023 is our the actual cast that you saw for the last 2 years. So it was me, Jesus, Ian, and Omar now. And the same thing, it took a while, but eventually I think we blended in with each other. And that kind of leads me to the announcement of the day. So with a lot of joy in my heart, the last few recordings, she was on as our guest. And today I want to officially introduce our 5th and official team member, Miss Erica. So Miss Erica, welcome to our channel and welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Seriously, guys, we need to learn how to clap.
This is exactly how we introduce Omar when he...
Yeah, offbeat.
I don't know what to say. I'm just very happy to be here.
Shut up.
Very happy to be with my cousins that I love with all my heart, and my new family. I hope you guys see me as family too.
Show her some love, y'all.
I'm excited. It took me a minute reaching those. It took me a minute. I've always been in the background supporting and whatnot, but I think just with life events, it brought me here finally, and so I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm looking forward to just. I always tell Richie this is going to be my therapy sessions, but just to enjoy the time and talk about life with my family.
And it's better late than never. And the fact that you're here, like I said, you've been with us since day one, and now starting 2025, you are a new member. And just for a little bit of information, if she sounds like she's talking through speaker, she is. We weren't able to record with her in person, but she came through, and that's all that matters. That's how I know she's going to fit in.
Yeah, I was really really excited. So it really bummed me out that unfortunately with the new year,
You're
came
here. That's all that matters.
with a little sickness, but I'm pushing forward. You might hear it in my voice too. I was here for the last 2 episodes, so I'm gonna keep going.
That's all that matters, baby.
She ain't getting well.
Even if it's virtual, yeah, I'm still here.
So I mentioned this in our New Year's episode. So turns out things changed, right? And it actually came a little bit earlier. So to wrap up our thoughts, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining us. But now I can say, what's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to See It Through My Eyes, the channel with 5 weirdos that got nothing better else to do, and to welcome the new year and welcome you guys to See It Through My Eyes. Take care.
That's right.
We might need to workshop some of that.